back here to domestic politics, we do wonder where the apology is to the American people for the lie that we were given for the better part of a year. Will you pardon Hunter Biden, Joe Biden? That question also asked to Karine Jean-Pierre. Of course, we were told the answer was no, he would not.
Never.
And now we've seen that pardon. So Karine Jean-Pierre is now being asked whether or not they owe the American people an apology.
He thought about it, and he weighed. It was not an easy decision to come to, and he put out a comprehensive statement. And I would certainly, offer that up to folks out there who are wondering. I would say, please read the president's response to this in full.
I'm sure my colleagues have a few follow-ups, just very specifically.
It's not only colleagues who watch this. There's also the American people.
Exactly.
So to be fair,
and they were told by you in July that this would not happen, and it did. I'm saying, asking for yourself, not the president's statement, but for yourself. Do you feel like you are owed an apology by the president? Do you owe an apology to the American people?
See, I just laid out the president's thinking. The president laid it out himself in his own words. He did. He laid out how he wrestled with this decision. He said in his statement, as a president, as a father, he talked about how difficult it was to make this decision.
What's infuriating, they don't even acknowledge reality, which is probably a pretty good tactic if, you're just trying to control the news. The problem for them, though, is at some point it just becomes delusional. She's delusional when she refuses to acknowledge the clear reality of all of her denials.
Yeah, this, if you look at the timing again, 2000, and the date that he starts the pardon from, it's very clear. This isn't about pardoning Hunter. It's about pardoning Joe Biden. It's about pardoning Jill Biden, who also participated in terms of enjoying the largesse that was made from abroad, from our China, Ukraine, and Russia. It includes the grandkids who there were offshore. Remember the offshore accounts that were put in the grandkids' names? So the entire Biden scheme to sell out the country and make money off of Joe Biden's position as vice president. That's what this was about. This was not some selfless father looking out for his crackhead son. This was about pardoning the entire family racket and everyone involved in it. And
by the way, we're not done.
No.
I mean, the pardons to come will in themselves, I believe, be an admission.
Yeah.
It won't just be... We'll see. Yeah. I mean,
and honestly, if I were a betting man, I would bet that Joe Biden pardons himself before he leaves office.
Wow. Well, what we actually talked about off camera is also that these pardons, as much as we all hate them and know that it's really an admission of what we've always known about what was on that laptop from hell. Right. It will make it very easy for Donald Trump to pardon the January 6th political prisoners.
Oh, it's by using the exact same standard.
Yeah.
You don't have to go anything beyond that.
It would actually be different because it would be a pardon in the spirit of a pardon which is specific. Yeah. These are blanket. Hunter Biden's pardon is a blanket pardon over an 11-year time frame for things that we don't even know. Also, I mean, we do know, but we know.
We know who the big guy is. Come on.
Also, the political activity that went into the investigation of Hunter Biden vastly helped him as opposed to hurt him. Yeah. It was, you had the Secret Service, you had the IRS, you had the FBI, you had DOJ. Everybody was desperate to try to help Hunter Biden. And then it wasn't until that got blown up
that's right.
that he got charged. And whereas it's the exact opposite with the January 6th people. The January 6th people have been doggedly pursued and persecuted by prosecutors who have a political agenda.
Yeah, it's like Cuba-style stuff that happened to the January 6th people.
That, real quick, Charlie, when you were talking to her, I was just thinking, you're like, she's delusional. Talking about Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah. I don't know. It's really fascinating. It's very Orwellian to hear her speak. And what I'm getting at is, here's a specific question. Do you apologize to the American people? And the answer is, the president has given a comprehensive response. I refer you back to that comprehensive, as though the president's words, crafted in a press release, have the authority that is unquestioned and should answer all your questions.
It's news.
No, I have a specific question that's not addressed in that memo. I refer you back to dear leader's words. You know?
I think what's so gross about this entire situation with Hunter and the family is that you remember when JFK said, you know, that's not what the country can do for you, what you can do for the country. The entire Biden legacy, in my opinion, is about what the government, what these positions can do to help the family. And I'll tell you, you'll see a perfect example this coming weekend. Jill Biden is taking a solo trip, and we know she's going to end up at Notre Dame along with Donald Trump for that sort of grand opening and of the Notre Dame Cathedral after the renovation. But before that, I mean, this is a big junket. I mean, she's going to 4 countries. She's going to UAE. She's going to Italy. She's going to Qatar. She said she's going to end up in France. Like, I wish Doge was happening right now. Like, what purpose could there possibly be other than to waste our money, which they've done, and feed off of the American people, which Jill and Joe have done their entire political career? Why is Jill Biden going? Joe Biden's not going. He's not well, probably. But there's no purpose in her going. Maybe to France. Maybe you could justify France. No need for her to go to all these other things. She's on her way out the door.
Rachel, it's really hard to give up private travel.
I know. And jets that they don't want. That, yeah. Anyway, I can't.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.